So this class is intended for my weekly gathering place class. I miss seeing you guys every Saturday, but this is going to have to be the next best thing. If you are not in my weekly gathering place class, well, welcome anyway. I'm glad you're here to join us in this practice. So I'm going to do a series of half-hour classes, and they're focused on 4 or 5 main things. One of which is just releasing general stiffness in the body, which all yoga does, but especially, you know, right now we are just not moving as much as we normally do. We're stuck in our houses and just not moving as much. So there's a lot of stiffness we need to work on. And also just general circulation. All yoga classes are going to help with circulation for the cardiovascular system, the lymphatic system. So we're going to work on that, as well as respiration. So improving our lung capacity, our breathing capacity, by opening the chest and getting some expansion in the rib cage. So specific to right now, you know, I know we often have neck tension, but particularly now, you know, the news changes every hour, and we find ourselves doing this all the time, listening to and watching the news, reading the news. So we're going to do some special stuff for neck and shoulder tension. And also, a lot of news, it's good to stay informed and know what's going on, but we don't want to obsess about it and ruminate. So what we need to do is get out of our heads and into our bodies, at least part of the time. So that's sort of what this class is going to be focused on, also grounding, nice grounding practice. So I want you to start off seated, and I'm sitting on 2 blocks right next to each other, 2 yoga blocks. You can sit in a chair, you can sit on a bolster, a blanket, pillows, whatever makes sense for you, whatever you have around. When we lift the hips, we drop the knees, the spine gets really tall, and we get a nice little curve in the low back, an inward curve in the low back that keeps our spine really healthy. So take a moment to arrive and settle into the seated posture. Nice tall spine, but some softness. So keep the action, release the strain. And then bring your hands in front of the heart in what's called Anjali Mudra or Namaste, prayer position. And we'll do some movement with breath. So we exhale, a slight bow. And then when we inhale, lift the heart center, open up wide, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then exhale back together. I want you to move with your own rhythm. Inhale, opening up, and exhale back together. Thumbs on the heart center. Feel the muscles in the back contracting to create this openness in the front. And then we release that in the other direction with the bow. Try and take as full of a breath as you possibly can. Next time you open up, you're going to expand the arms wide, externally rotate on the inhale, and exhale, internally rotate. Do this a few times, like you're wringing out your arms as if you were wringing out a grimy sponge in the sink. And then keep the arms at an external rotation, palms lifted. We'll do some sun breaths. Inhale up, exhale to the brows, heart center. Inhale, widen up, and exhale, brows, heart center. One more, inhale, widen up, and exhale, brows, heart center. Let's bring the arms in sort of an upside down V. Inhale, one arm up, reaching tall. Exhale, arc to a side. Inhale, switch. Exhale, the other side. Keep going with your own rhythm. Keep your hips down, so don't let the hip lift to the side. Keep it planted and feel that nice expansion across the rib cage, the whole side body, moving almost like a sea anemone. Feel like you're in the water. And next time you go over to the right side, so I'm mirroring you, Stay to your right side, pull your belly in for support. Upper hand hooks around the head like teapot. You might want to deepen here a little bit, walking your fingers out, bending the elbow, possibly leaning backwards just slightly. Holding the head keeps us from overusing the neck muscles. What you might want to do is extend the arm out over the head, palm down. And if you feel you're using the neck muscles too much, do a little movement with the head. Lift up, go to the other side. Reach tall and then arc. Hold the head, protect the neck. Maybe you deepen a little bit, support with the core. Breathing in teapot or possibly extending the arm out over the head. Don't let your arm come in front, that's rounding the shoulder. Maybe a little movement with the head. And let's lift all the way back up. Round the shoulders, up the front and down the back. Up the front and down the back. So we're going to shift to sitting on the floor without our props. So take your blocks or bolster out, feet to the floor, right as wide as your sticky mat, hands behind you. We're just going to do what I call knee wobbles. Inhale, center, exhale, knees to a side. Just notice how that feels around the hips. The hips might be a little cranky from not moving so much in this strategic and wide array of options that yoga tends to do for us. If we haven't been doing much yoga or just moving around, hips get really tight and cranky. And next time your knees come to the right side, keep them there. So if you've had a hip replacement, you're going to want to be very cautious of this internal rotation. You might want to put a block under that knee or possibly avoid this. So this is pinwheel pose. So bending both knees, knees right, feet left. Bring your hands over by the right knee. And we're going to do a little bit of breath and movement here. So inhale, reach the heart forward, and exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift, reach with the heart. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift. And on the third time, stay down. And if your head reaches your hands, rest them there. If not, you're just going to bring the floor up towards your head. You can use a block of any height, but we want to feel the head resting on something for a couple of reasons. Keeps the neck muscles from overworking, and putting a little pressure on this spot, not your third eye, stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response that brings us back to homeostasis. So it's the opposite of fight or flight. Take a couple of really deep breaths here. So you're massaging from the inside out with your deep breath, massaging the lymph nodes in the front of the hip crease, massaging your ascending colon, so we move in direction of digestion, and just massaging the whole hip. And we'll lift back up, feet back out, wide as the mat, side to side. And then the next time your knees go to the left, we're going to keep the knees left, feet right. Pinwheel on this side, hands by the left knee. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow, and stay down. Support your head with anything that will help support your head. Pillow, block, blanket, hands. And take a few really deep full breaths here, massaging from the inside out. Massaging now the descending colon. Lift back up. Bring the feet out again and do just a couple more of these knee wobbles. Notice how your hips feel. Yoga is more about awareness than anything else. A lot of side benefits, but what can we learn about ourselves? What can we sense? our legs wide now, and bring your hands behind you to act as auxiliary spines to help support you. And if this feels like your hamstrings are screaming at you too much, bend the knees and flex the ankles. It can be done just like this. If you extend your knees, make sure it doesn't make you tuck your tailbone under. Keep your right hand behind you, lift your left arm up. This is inhale. Exhale, reach out beyond the left leg, sweep in front over towards the right. Inhale, reverse that trajectory. Inhaling back up. Exhale, sweeping over. Inhale, coming back out and up. Notice how this feels on the backs of your legs, the pelvis, the groin, the adductors. Keep moving with breath. The next time you come over to the right side, stay there. Twisting out over the right leg. Take a little bow. Remember to bend that knee as needed. Let's lift back up. We'll do the other side. This time the left hand stays behind. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, sweep out beyond the right leg over to the left, and then go back the same path but reverse direction. Keep moving with your breath. And the next time you come to the left, you're going to stay there. Again, bending the knees as needed. Take a nice little surrendering, restful bow. Turn so that you can see this a little better. Bring your hands behind you, and we're going to try and get the pinkies as close together as possible. It might not look anything like this, that's okay. Lifting the heart center. Strong back, open front. And then you might want to come up on fists for this. This is optional. Lifting the hips, taking a couple breaths. If your shoulders don't feel like they want to do this, then don't lift the hips. Keep the action, release the strain. So keep the soft flowing breath, and we'll come back down. So we're going to come into table pose. So in table pose, your wrists can be beneath your shoulders, knees beneath the hips. If that bothers your wrists by bringing them into such flexion, it's good to have blocks or books that you can even rest your forearms on and do the pose just like this, and your hands can just rest. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. We're going to do what I call prana pumps. So we exhale, round the spine and come towards a child's pose. Inhale, inchworm forward and up. Exhale, round the spine, back towards child's pose. Inhale, inchworm. Coming up to cow pose. You're tracing an egg shape with your spine. Moving with the rhythm that suits your body and your breath. And the next time you come towards a child's pose, you're going to stay in child's pose. If this feels too much for your knees, you can stay lifted, hips above the knees, and just come onto forearms. That's another way to do child's pose. If you're in child's pose and it feels comfortable, stay there. And I want you to notice your ankles. You want to get a nice little ankle stretch. I notice that with my diminished movement these days, that my ankles are getting kind of stiff. So if you feel an ankle stretch, you're going to just stay right here. If not, you're going to walk your hands towards your knees and start to come up to where you're sitting on your heels. If you still don't feel an ankle stretch, lift the knees, get that opening in the fronts of the ankles, keep your spine long, lift the heart. Lower the knees back down. So now we're going to do something for toe range of motion. So tuck the toes under, so toe flexion. And again, just start to walk your hands back towards the knees. Maybe you sit on your heels, maybe not. Wherever you find a nice toe flexion, If you still don't feel it, you can walk your knees out a little bit and increase that flexion. So what we're going to do next is come on up to standing on the knees. I'll turn so you can see a little better. Put more support under your knees. If that feels like it's just pressing too much, you can put a rolled up blanket underneath your knees. And you might want to have blocks nearby or books to rest your hands on. So we're going to take the left leg and bring it out to the side so that the left heel is lined up with the right knee. And the left elbow is going to slide out on that left thigh. Nice little massage, self-massage. A couple of times like you're rolling out the dough. And then keep your elbow near the knee. And the right arm is going to swirl up the front, down the back. And if it bothers your shoulder, bend the elbow. It'll take some of the work out of your shoulder. So juicing up the shoulder joint. Nice little movement with breath. So now we're going to do sort of a wonky cat-cow version. So you can put your hands on the floor, or to soften the work, have your hands lifted a little bit. And your left leg is going to extend, the foot is on the floor, and we do some cat-cow breaths from here. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, heart forward. Notice how it feels in your left thigh. How does each position shift the sensation? And then come to a neutral spine. Keep your right hand where it is. Inhale your left arm out and up into a bit of a twist. And then exhale, a partial thread the needle out to the side. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, partial thread the needle. And then plant this hand and we'll go to the other side. Up to standing on the knees. Left leg out to the side, foot on the floor. Actually, sorry, this one first. So heel aligned with the knee. Little nice massage, rolling out the dough. And then keep the elbow near the knee, and we'll swirl the arm up the front, down the back. Up the front, down the back, a couple of times. Remember, bend the elbow if your shoulder is feeling cranky. And then bring your hands to the floor or blocks, extend the leg, foot is on the floor, cat-cow. Exhale, round the spine, inhale, heart forward, a couple of times with your own rhythm. Neutral spine, left hand stays, inhale, right arm up, exhale, partial thread the needle out to the side, inhale up, exhale, partial thread the needle, floating in the air. Find your way back to table. And then what we're going to do is come up to standing. So I'm going to turn so you can see. So some people have a lot of difficulty putting weight on their shoulders, recent surgeries and other reasons. So come up any way that suits you. If you're okay with down dog, you tuck the toes under and lift the knees. You can walk your dog by bending one knee at a time. You'll really feel your feet padding on the earth. And then bring your feet as wide as the mat. Walk your hands back to the feet. Bend the knees to keep your spine long if you find it rounding. A little bit of ragdoll. Let tension just drip out of the neck and the jaw. Hands to the hips, scoop the spine up. So we're going to come to standing, and I'm going to turn so you can see better. We're going to interlace the hands behind and bring them to the left. Either the side waist, this way so I can mirror you, or just to the left of the spine. And keep both shoulders drop down, tip your left ear towards your left shoulder, and breathe into that right side of the neck stretch. Release slowly out out of this and switch to the other side. So either just right of center or all the way to the right sideways, and tip your head the other direction. So right ear towards the right shoulder. Notice that neck release. Back to center, release the hands. This tends to make lymph pool around our wrists, so what we want to do is kind of blink the hands a little bit. You can lift them up and sweep the lymph down to drain towards the heart. Blinking the hands is really useful here. And then we're going to do a little bit of tapping. So let's take soft fists. I'm just going to tap down one leg, the outside of one leg, and then up the inside of the leg. So do that a couple of times. I think it feels really grounding to do that. And then we'll do the other side, tapping down the outside of the leg, up the inside. And come to mountain pose. Notice how you feel. So we're going to do some easy waist twists. So easy waist twists, we can bring our feet shoulder distance and let your arms swing side to side like empty sweater sleeves. Keep your knees soft, so if you lift a heel as you go, it keeps your knees nice and protected. And see if you can tap a kidney with the back of the opposite hand as you go side to side. And ease back to center. What can you notice? I also think that balance poses can be really grounding. We need that at a time like this. So we're going to do sapling. It's a baby tree pose. It's a softer version of tree. Bring all your weight onto your right foot, your right leg. Bring your left knee out to the side and your left heel kind of rests on the inner right ankle. You might want to go all the way to tree pose, which is fine, but let's just try this exploration first. You can always get closer to a wall if you need some extra balance. And you might want to do a mudra. I like Jnana mudra, which is wisdom mudra. So see if you can either close your eyes for the sapling, or if that seems a little too scary, just do long, slow blinks. Really the same sort of thing. Just beginning to train our vestibular system to find steadiness through the uncertainty. Make sure you're breathing. And then find your way back to mountain pose. Take a moment to observe the difference in the two sides. And now bring all your weight onto your left leg. Right knee turns out, right heel rests on the inner left arch. Find whatever your hand position is for you. Possibly closing the eyes or doing the long, slow blinks. Really try and find that long, smooth, steady, sweet breath through the wobbliness. Find the stillness and the steadiness in the midst of change and uncertainty. And then find your way back to mountain pose. Both feet on the floor, roots into the earth. We're going to come down and do a couple of cool downs on the ground. What I'd like you to do is have a block or a book nearby to come down to engage the core as we come down. We're going to extend the legs, plant the heels, imagine roots growing into the earth. Grab one hand and go down real slowly. And as you go, you're going to just want to plop. See if you can push your edge just a little bit within healthy limits. Pause. Notice if you're using your belly muscles. Go slowly, slowly. Just when you think you can't hold it anymore, maybe just another second. But whenever you come down to the back, you're going to bend the knees, feet to the floor, and hug the knees in. Do a little rocking side to side. Maybe a little circling of the knees. Massaging the back of the pelvis into the floor in a slow, mindful way, like you're trying to discern the topography of the back of the pelvis, all the nooks and crannies. And then go the other direction as well. We're going to come into happy baby pose. So slip your hands behind the thighs, bring the knees wide. Knees are bent but near the outer armpits, and we're going to try and bring the shins straight up if possible. Slide your hands up to wherever they go, totally up to you. And do a little rocking side to side. Massaging the kidneys into the floor and the back and the muscles around the head and the shoulders. Bring the feet back to the floor. Press the feet into the floor and lift the hips just to a low bridge. Just to release tension in the back. Bring the hips back down. This is where we're going to grab our block or a book and slip it underneath the hips. Make sure it's not pushing into your back, just catching the pelvis. Supported bridge pose is a wonderful pose to just hang out and breathe. Optional is to extend your legs up. This will help increase that circulation, so draining blood and lymph towards the heart. You can pump the feet here or possibly use your hands to sweep everything down towards the torso so that it can drain into the heart. Bend the knees, feet to the floor. You're going to lift off of the block, but keep it nearby. You're going to use it in a moment. So we're going to come into resting pose. So bring your feet to the edges of your sticky mat. Have the knees rest on or towards each other. And then take your block and rest it, or your book, and rest it right on your diaphragm, which is on around your upper abdomen region. And we're going to do Shavasana in this way. This is a good option for Shavasana. Just this position alone can help relieve back tension at the end of a class. If you've had a hip replacement, you're avoiding internal rotation, just extend your legs long as in a regular Shavasana. What I want you to do is really feel the block, feel the breath and a pushing into the resistance of the block. Again, we're stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system by activating or stimulating the vagus nerve. That's heavily innervated around your solar plexus and diaphragm. So spend quite a bit of time here just feeling that block, feeling your breath lift and lower the block. It can be very useful to use the Ujjayi breath or the ocean breath here. On our exhale, we do a little fogging the mirror or Darth Vader type sound. Really helps rein in the mind. I invite you to stay here as long as you need. Just turn off the video and stay here for quite a while, feeling your breath, noticing the breath pushing into the block, noticing the earth supporting your back body. If you're ready to transition out of this pose, you can move the block, bring the feet back in line with hips and knees, hug the knees in again, a little bit of rocking, and then turn over onto a side and support your head with a block or pillow or blanket. Take 3 intentional breaths here. ready to come back to seated, lift slowly, mindfully. Keep your vision turned inside and lift without jarring the nervous system. And I want you to come up to any seated posture that suits your body right now. Bring your arms wide and inhale all the way up. Palms touch. Exhale to the brows, honoring the wisdom of the intellect. And to the heart center, honoring